CHGO Bears Podcast.
It's Friday.
Presented by PointsBet. Use code CHGO. We're laughing because Lawrence accidentally put the wrong. Which, of course, is something that literally no one would notice.
No.
I have no idea what's
said it. So it's fun to just point it out and laugh at ourselves. Welcome in. Use that code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. My name is Adam Hoge, alongside future Arlington Park resident Mark Carman.
Listen, I see you Bulls Rule 15. I'm just here for Carm's reaction. I'm taking L's all over the place here.
I was going to say, how was that L you took last night?
Listen, I try to be a positive person. I try to be a realistic person. I said yesterday, thank you to the fine folks over at NBC Sports Chicago where you used to work at Unfiltered. I said I want on my media tombstone to say that I was the dude that never wanted Chicago Stadium to go away, that fought for Wrigley Field to be renovated, that fought for Comiskey Park.
That you love the smell of troughs?
Yes, that's right. I like a trough.
Hey, I am a trough guy. I'm glad that they didn't take all the troughs out at Wrigley.
Troughs are good. The smell of urine is good.
No.
Whoa. That's not what I was saying. The whole reason why I like troughs, they're more efficient. You get people in and out of there. You don't have to stand in a line. It's just keep the line moving.
The whole accoutrement, I need every nice thing in the world for me to go to a stadium. I'm not that guy. I don't mind being crowded, coming across an aisle. I mean, it's not ideal. But like this, I'm at a stadium. I'm at an event. I'm not supposed to feel like I'm at my couch at home. But
okay,
all right. But hold on. Yeah, okay.
I was just gonna say it's well documented how you feel about this whole thing. We need to bring the information to the people.
Yeah, okay.
We were there.
Listen, what stood out last night for me taking L's is that the Bears are going to Arlington Heights.
Yes, it is happening.
This is. I mean, the amount of detail in that presentation where literally everyone in that place at one time or another fell asleep with the exception of this guy. He was so dialed in on every bit of the planning.
I was in my element. I loved it.
I mean, I was like, I haven't fallen asleep. I'm looking at Braggs to my right. He's watching the football game. He's got his computer down there. I'm looking up at the stage. George McCaskey is gone. Jeff Joniak's got his head down. He's thinking about his play-by-play call. No one is paying attention except for this dude who's like, well, that's really interesting. Where are you going to put the trees in the on Green Street tree whatever. Everything they put out there last night. It's going to be beautiful parking spaces. You're going to be out. They literally said
you want to live there. I know you do.
I might. They didn't say anything about tennis courts, though. Where the hell are the tennis courts? But they did say over here. They said this stuff, too. I'm kind of amazed. Over here is where you'll be able to play chess in the park. And there'll be paddle boats there. We're going to have yoga in the park here.
I just, my one beef, though, is that I didn't get an ounce of credit for anything.
That's fair. Toot your horn right now.
I mean, George is up there saying, this wasn't even our idea. Churchill Downs came to us, which I don't know if that's something you want to brag about. I mean, this should be the most obvious common sense thing in the world, so I don't know if you want to say that out loud. But, hey, I mean, February 24th, 2021 was the first time I wrote this. It was like the day Arlington Park came up for sale. I was like, look, this is one of my favorite places in the world. I'm going to miss the horse racing. We used to go there every Mother's Day. Look at this. We got right here in front of us this amazing Arlington Park lunchbox that Lawrence brought in.
That's right. That's a classic.
This brings back memories from my childhood right here.
That's beautiful, and I'm sorry. I'm hyped. Vaughn, it's not that I don't want a new stadium. I want a renovated one in the city. Vaughn.
Yeah, you want things that are just impossible.
Right, I do. That's right.
Never happened. But here, I didn't even want the racing to go away at Arlington Park.
Me neither.
I love that place, but I came to terms with reality, Carm, is what I did. And you know what I did? I turned to the future, and I said, this property, which is 326 acres, circled right here in this notebook, or I took all these notes last night while Carm was sleeping, perfect, not only for the Bears, perfect for them to build what was built in Inglewood, California, where Hollywood Park, a former racetrack, once existed. Did you know, Carm, that this property in Arlington is actually bigger than that property where SoFi Stadium was built? And common sense coming together. The guy you thought was so boring last night is the guy that developed Hollywood Park, where SoFi Stadium sits, and you people who were watching football last night enjoying your beautiful Thursday evening and your Bills blowout instead of what we were doing. That's what the Bears could have.
Can you go back to the one graphic that we have where there's a picture of, like, I don't know, people walking and, that one. I mean, that's what they're selling.
It's beautiful.
They literally said when they showed that.
It's like a giant tomato holder. Or,
I have a question for you, Carm. Was this the part of the presentation where you just burst out into laughter for about 2.5 minutes?
Well, yes, because I could not believe.
You were losing your mind at some point, and everyone around us was like looking at you like, what is this guy laughing at?
Well, because I honestly felt like I was in high school and was the kid in the last row that was not paying attention at Hersey High School. Because they literally said, I couldn't believe what came out of this dude's mouth. There will be people in paddle boats when the Bears fans walking across this thing, and you could see the people in paddle boats. They literally said that there will be people in paddle boats when Bears fans walk in to try to just make this kumbaya whole walk. And I just thought it was so unbelievably ridiculous. And so I tweeted it, and Braggs retweeted it with a dude in a paddle boat with me and you, Carm. And at that point I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, it was such a, like, kumbaya, it's going to be beautiful, and people are going to get in the water. No one's getting in any water on this a man-made lake in this place. What are you talking about?
Here's where I was paying attention and had kind of forgotten this or didn't really understand this exactly. But Salt Creek runs through that property, which goes down to the Des Plaines River, giving you natural water. In the middle of this thing.
Okay,
this is perfect for residents.
Like with 50-yard line right in the middle of that, or no?
Like it's divided. We got the stadium district, and we got the transit-oriented development district.
Okay, I didn't know there was some salt, whatever you just said, Salt Lake, Salt River.
Salt Creek, man. You don't know
Salt Creek, baby.
Okay, I didn't know about Salt Creek. Point right here. That's on me. But has anybody ever actually swam in Salt Creek?
Well, isn't there a golf course?
No one's swimming. They're kayaking.
They said people are going to get in the water. That's what one of the people who was
I'll tell you right now, if they build this damn thing, I'll be the first one to jump into Salt Creek.
Oh yeah, we're definitely jumping into Salt Creek.
I mean, it'll be 10 years away, but and George did say that at one point, by the way. He's like, this could be 10 years away.
Is Salt Creek going to look like the Des Plaines River and the Chicago River?
Yeah, it might flood every other week.
And that's another thing, by the way. Well, we can. When can we get to the roof part of?
Let's do it right now, because that's honestly the headline from last night was Ted Phillips once again emphasizing this is going to be an enclosed stadium, but that left some room for interpretation. Are we talking retractable roof? Are we not talking retractable roof? And that was one of the first questions asked. You had to write it on a card, submit it to the Bears so they could control which questions got asked. And then Jeff Joniak would read it out loud and butcher somebody's name. And then...
Great job, JJ. You were awesome last night. I thoroughly... you better be watching the show. We love you. You were fantastic. Keep going.
And he said, no retractable roof.
Right. And Ted's comment was that...
It's not worth it.
Right.
It obviously costs more money than a regular roof, and the risk.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the stadium's the part the Bears want to pay for, as opposed to making taxpayers pay for everything.
Yes.
So they're cheaping out on the thing
and that's a fair take. Are they trying to save money? Yes, but as any businessman would do, you look at what's worth spending money on, and if you're talking about 3 games a year where the roof is open. Is it worth all that?
It's about concerts and like other events happening throughout the year.
But concerts get played in enclosed.
But why? If it's summertime in Chicago, there's nothing better. I'm sorry, summertime.
Well,
in
I agree
Arlington
with you.
Heights.
That I'd rather be at an outdoor concert in the summer.
Listen, there are 10 football games a year, right? With how this is going to be with the preseason, whatever. Let's just say 10. Okay.
Yep. You get 10 games a year.
Okay. So let's just say half. That's 5. Okay. 5 will be beautiful. That's going to be outside. 5 will want the roof closed. All right. That George McCaskey said the Bears have been searching for 100 years for their home. Wrigley Field, Soldier Field.
Which is a fact, and you still want them to stay at a place that's not their home.
Okay. For a second, let me just fully get on board with them and help them get across the finish line. It's not, you can't look at this as it's 5 games a year. This is your permanent home. You are worth $4 billion. The only time last night that there were any boos for the Bears was when they said no retractable roof. Ted Phillips was getting a standing O out there. So was George. It was as if the Bears had won the Super Bowl.
I was worried he was going to take back his retirement plan.
Right. It was incredible. I'm like, y'all are cheering Ted Phillips. We're working on 10 of the last 12 years of missing the playoffs after this season. Like, there's nobody needs any standing ovations right now. But that's what was happening, except when they said no retractable. Bears fans want this. People want to sit outside, and for Ted to get up there, hey, what's the name of the stadium in Minnesota?
U.S. Bank Stadium.
U.S. Bank Stadium. So they've got it's basically a clear roof. So
have you been there yet?
Yes. No, I haven't. But
it's my favorite stadium.
I know you.
It's so well done.
Okay, and so it's not retractable. You can see the sky, and so it sort of feels like you're outside, which is what the Bears are going to do.
You know what they also do? And now this would cost money, and so I don't know if they'll do it, but it's got to be cheaper than the roof situation. But they have 4 giant-ass doors on one end of the stadium that open like this, and it allows air to come in on those beautiful September days that they still have in Minnesota. So you still get that open air feel, too, plus the sun's coming in because you have that glass. Look,
you just
people
told me
who know me know that I almost never agree with Ted Phillips. This is something would I prefer a retractable roof? Yes, I would.
Can they afford a retractable roof?
But if they're really footing the bill for this whole thing, and the only way this is going to happen is they have to get a little bit cheap on the roof, but they're willing to still give that outdoor type feeling and make that happen, which there's plenty of ways. The Raiders did it too in Vegas. They have this big thing that opens on the one side of the stadium. I'm okay with that. I understand the business economics of that thing, and they did make it very clear last night. The biggest hurdle to this happening is the money.
I'm just curious, and I'm not paying attention to the chat right now. I can check it out. I'm just curious how people feel about. And we can have like the rational argument that bear weather doesn't exist. We haven't exactly been on a decade-long Super Bowl run here playing in bear weather, but fans like to sit outside and go to football game. Fall day.
Well, I have a question for you. It's going to be 70 degrees and pouring rain Sunday. Where would you rather be? In the studio or in the stands?
With the retractable roof when it's raining. Okay. Close the roof.
Okay, but the problem with the retractable roof is there's really no way to do that without it feeling like all of a sudden you're totally inside. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
T. Kane in chat. Is there a retractable roof in any snowy or cold weather place? Yes. Miller Park in Milwaukee.
Yeah, but it's got to be a football example.
Why? Why? It's still a giant roof that opens up.
Isn't Indy retractable?
Nah, I don't know.
But see, this is actually a point I wanted to make. When it comes to baseball
needs to be outdoors.
I actually think that every stadium that's built from this point on should be required to have a retractable roof. That's because there's 162 damn games in a season. You have 81 home games. You have to play in April, and especially in Chicago. Those are just miserable times to be in a stadium. I'd much rather be at Miller Park with the roof closed all the time. So when you have that many games, to me, it's worth spending the money because you have that many more events. We're talking about like 5 dates on the calendar.
Yeah. I got it. They just underlined very clearly that this is a money decision, and I would just underline back that you're going to be here for a long time, and overall fans want it. That being said, the level of excitement for this move, and they want to honor the history of Arlington Park, and there's going to be horse statues somewhere, and all.
George got very excited about the horse honoring.
I mean, he
said, "Hell yes!"
I mean, the Bears are very excited about what's coming. Clearly,
yeah.
So their level of just wanting this and feeling like it's going to be their home, and they put up all the graphs of Bears fans are excited about this, and there's just this one guy on the CHGO Bears podcast who's screaming from by himself over it. I'm like, all right, this is what you all want. Let's go. And we got paddle boats, we got yoga, we got chess. We're gonna be able to see the sky in this dome stadium. But it does feel to me like a loss that you will not be sitting outside any longer watching Bears football.
A couple things in the comments. Someone mentioned Lucas Oil Stadium. Good example of probably the northernmost NFL stadium off the top of my head that has a retractable roof. Can't think of any others off the top of my head. Arizona has a retractable roof. Houston has a retractable roof, but those are all in southern climates. Indy has one, Lucas Oil Stadium. How many times have I been at Lucas Oil Stadium for various different events?
Place is great.
From Combine, Final Four, Big Ten championship games, college football playoff, multiple Colts games. Do you know how many times I've seen the roof open? Once. There was one Bears game. Brian Hoyer played in it. I think Alshon Jeffrey dropped the ball at the end of the game. The roof was open that day. I'm just saying, like, it sounds great, but I've been to these stadiums. I would prefer, if it has to have a roof, I would prefer what the Vikings have at US Bank Stadium. It's great, man. I'm telling you, when you have to go to a game in January, which it seems like the Bears always play there in January, and it's -5 when you walk in, and you just go inside, and it's like you're in this like warm greenhouse, and the sun's coming in. You have like for 3 hours, you don't feel like you're in freezing cold Minnesota anymore.
I get the beauty of the December, January new Bear experience. Everyone is going to be super happy to be there. Pay whatever it's going to cost, $7 zillion, and pay for your PCLs again. And we're on board. Ride the Metro out there. It'll be freezing cold. But once you get in, they might even, who knows, maybe they'll have like a domed walking concourse pumping in heat just to keep Bears fans happy on the way over. So, but whatever. The biggest takeaway from last night for me was that this is happening. There is no turning back.
I was also... let me fly through some of my notes here, too, because I just want to make sure everyone understands what happened last night. But that is a key point, Carm. Were you surprised at how overwhelmingly positive because I didn't know what the crowd was going to be like. Is this going to be just Bears fans who are like, yeah, let's make sure this happens? Or is it going to be like Arlington Heights residents who are totally against it and are like, this is my chance to voice my opposition? Honestly, other than they didn't like that it wouldn't be a retractable roof, and anytime it came up to taxpayer money, there was a little bit of opposition. But they also got really happy when Ted clarified towards the end that the public money they're asking for is not for the building structures of the rest of the development. It's just for things like sewers and water and the type of things you would have in any community within Arlington Heights that tax money goes towards. That was an important clarification, I thought.
Yeah, and they've been saying it, though, that we'll pay for the stadium. You guys help with the rest of it.
But I think people thought that they're asking taxpayers to support all the other structures that are being built. And that's not what was said last night. The Bears said, we'll pay for that, too.
Right. Okay, so the houses that they're going to build and the rents that they're going to charge and here's the housing complex, which will be a little more of a condensed space, and then there's going to be some townhomes over here, which will be less. I mean, they got a whole idea here that it's just kind of amazing how they've thought this through. You got 7,000 people up there. You got the traffic person talking about how they're going to handle traffic. You'll be able to turn left here. You won't be able to turn left there. But yeah, to rewinding back to your point, it was a little bit just surprising how universally supportive the crowd was.
It really was.
Yeah, and I felt like there was also this vibe out there too, like city sucks, suburbs are better. Like these are people that live there. That I felt a little bit of that going on. So, but didn't you? No, is that not fair? We won't even talk to Soldier Field, and there was like loud cheers, like yes, don't talk to those.
They just hate Soldier Field.
Okay. It wasn't an anti-city. It was more to say hate.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not suggesting any of this is perfect. There's still some major traffic issues that the transit guy was not selling me on how all of a sudden there's one little ramp they're going to add that you can come right into the area without going on a Northwest Highway. That's going to solve everything. No, it's going to be, but it still should be better than Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah,
trying to get into Soldier Field.
Right.
And the one thing is everyone's concerned about, there's not enough parking on these maps. I think people are underestimating how big of an area this is. It's enormous. The amount of parking that's on there, I think, is actually enough.
I didn't realize how much space there was. I'm like,
you got to drive by it.
I like, what? Wait a second. The stadium's over here, and this is less than half of the space.
That where the stadium isn't even where Arlington Racetrack, where the actual races happened. That's all back where the practice track is, the stables and all that. The area that people didn't even realize. Can we put that map up? So if you're driving on 53, which is that highway cutting through the left side of the picture there, right next to the stadium. By the way, that's going to be awesome if the stadium's actually that close to the highway when you're driving by. So that whole area, the stadium district, that's all where the stables and the practice track were. Then the only way you would ever see that is if you were on 53. Everything else where the residential stuff is and the hotel and that's all where the actual Arlington Racetrack was.
Now, by the way, as an Arsenal fan who moved from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium like 10 years ago, they left Highbury up, the stand, and made it into like condos. Could they please somehow incorporate Arlington's structure from the park as some part of this mixed-use district? Because that would be freaking cool.
Maybe.
That might be the history that George is looking to do here, Lawrence.
Hey.
Maybe that could be a little tip of the cap.
Like, leave the paddock area and put a fountain in it or something.
My favorite part of going to the race course back in the day, I haven't been there in 2 decades, but I didn't necessarily need to see the race. I liked seeing the horses in the paddock area.
You got to go to the paddock area, yeah. Make sure your
that's
horses...
where you scout the horse?
Yeah.
Right. That looks like a big horse.
That one just took a dump. I'm betting on that one.
He looks fresh and ready.
He just emptied all that weight. He's going to fly.
This guy looks a little bit wild, but I'm sure you're ready to run. Let's go. Where's my guy, Early Fires? Where are you at, Pat Day?
Hey, there's one more thing I want to get on this because I think they're missing.
Okay.
I tweeted it last night, but we'll talk about it here real quickly. And then I promise we'll talk Bears and football and all that great stuff. Hey, there's a game on Sunday. Did you know that? Hey, PointsBet Sportsbook, counting down the days until the football season begins. Guess what? It's September 9th. Shouldn't do this read anymore.
Yeah, September 9th.
We got to get better at updating this.
Is there a different read?
I'll just tell you this. We can wing this.
Well, why don't we do this?
We have this awesome deal.
Yeah, let's go to the
that's much more
deal.
important anyway. So why don't you check this one out? If you bet $51 pregame, which means it could be right now or until the game starts. Actually, in-game, too, counts. So this is through Sunday, Bears-Niners. You get to pick your choice of premium sweatshirt. Those sweatshirts look nice. I like them.
This is one of the greatest deals going. Put the 51 down, bet on the Bears, get yourself gear. It's just an awesome little...
You got to use CHGO when you sign up. That code CHGO. You also get the QB1 shirt, which has been flying off the shelves. And you get a yearly membership to CHGO, which includes all of our content at allchgo.com, my weekly newsletter, all the coverage we have for you. Of course, this is free here on the show and on the podcast and all that, but the stuff on the website, access to our Discord channel, which is going to be popping, I'm sure, on Sunday. This is a great deal you're going to want to check out.
Get on in. Love it. And I would go with the varsity. I think that thing looks sweet.
Yeah, the varsity.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get both. Hey, meanwhile, we got to tell you about another of our favorite sponsors, Gametime, the Gametime app. This is the hottest new ticketing site. Makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. So if you're looking at going to the game Sunday, this is where you want to check it out. You want to go to the Gametime app, find out, hey, where are the best seats I can get at this game Sunday. It's the opener. You get the biggest last-minute price drops. You find it right here on the app. Seats you thought you could never buy. You won't find a better deal this season. Ooh, Now we're talking to myself.
Sorry, just gonna show.
The Gametime app is
go to the
created
app.
by the fans. It's for the fans. It guarantees the lowest price. And if you love CHGO, you're gonna love Gametime. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets. Buy tickets for anything. You got hot Cubs tickets?
No, I'm looking right now. Look at those hot sight lines at Soldier Field. Cheapest seat right now is $144 in section 434, row 36 on the Gametime app. Then that is just a solid view of a great Bears win, which, by the way, I getting very excited as we're about to talk about the game, about what the Bears are going to do on Sunday.
You can join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Gametime app and score the best seats to all of your favorite events. Are there any?
And there's a link right below this video on YouTube. Click through there, and that's how you could get to this for Bears. And then obviously you can go to any other game and just in the search bar, all that good stuff. Gametime, it's where to go. I know Herb used it last week in Atlanta.
Oh.
And he got some tickets super cheap for a Braves game. So
I wish I had used it a couple weeks ago. I used a different one and got completely screwed. So make sure you use Gametime instead.
Gametime, let's go.
Yep. All right, speaking of Gametime, there's one thing I think they're missing here. I'll give the Chicago Bears a lot of credit. They have been extremely supportive of I see your Dominique Foxworthy questions, too. We'll address that in a second. The Bears have been extremely supportive of high school football in the area. They have a Coach of the Week thing they do, Player of the Week. They have events out at different games. They have a summer tournament that they run, and it's great. I think that they should include somewhere in this massive campus they're going to have in Arlington Park a high school venue.
That's a great idea.
You see the fields that they put in the renderings that actually have like the lines painted and everything. Find some area. Now, that's right there in the middle. You actually see a couple football fields there. So there's got to be room where you can just make a small, but, bigger than you would have at a actual high school, like a nice high school venue where the seats go all the way around and you could host some of the biggest games in the area, and it would become like an event. Like if you get invited to play one of these games at the field, you're bringing more people there, more events at this thing. Families come for the day, night, whatever.
More paddle boaters.
Get on the paddle boats.
It could be a whole complex
Jump
in there.
in Salt Creek when you win the game.
Little league facility maybe with a high school field. Let's go.
Remember Thillins? Anyone ever play at
Oh, yeah.
Thillins?
Love Thillins.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Unfortunately, I
times.
hear Thillins is kind of a crap hole now.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I haven't been in
I haven't been there
4
in a long
decades.
I haven't been there since I was about 12, hitting dongs there. I did definitely not hit it over the fence. Wouldn't that have been a dream, though?
I mean, I still remember the triple that I hit on a Friday night at good old off of Green Bay Road at Lincoln School. Just ripped one, and you couldn't back in those days. Probably nowadays also, you couldn't run through the coach. That should have been a homer, but he gave me the. And if you went home, if you got thrown out, you were out, and if you scored, you had to go back to third.
Young Carm just like chucking around the bases. I could see
Friday
it now.
night, Little League. Come on.
I had one high school home run, and it was a cheap shot over our short portion left field. Look, I could get on base, but I was like the White Sox. You weren't getting the home runs from me.
Don't we have a huge softball?
Tony La Russa would love me.
Tony.
Stay healthy, stay away, Tony. Please
we'll
stay
leave-
healthy, stay away.
That's a good shirt
We'll
idea.
leave that one for Herb and the crew, but yes, stay healthy, stay away.
Enrique said, "Did you say hitting bongs?" No, I said hitting dongs. Hitting dingers, if you'd prefer me to say that.
That was the Madison years. Although
I do have a
really don't know.
super chat about the whole Arlington Heights thing. I was holding it, but you want to get into it now? It's about new revenue.
Can
we
I
get
just
into that?
address? We can do that. Can I just address one thing because
Yeah,
I'm
of
going to
course.
forget otherwise. So people asking about the Dominique Foxworthy thing. I offered. The guy didn't take me up on it.
Yeah, and you were debating before the show today, should we respond to Dominique one more time? And hey, you asked, Hoge answered, we're here.
Did I call him Dominique Foxworthy, by the way?
You did.
Foxworth.
Yeah. You're a redneck if.
It's just blended. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Dominique Foxworth went on like some rant about how bad the Bears are and how Justin Fields should demand a trade because things are so bad. And anyway, I didn't even see the rant. I just saw him tweet, and people were tagging me in it because he said, hey, is there a popular Bears podcast that I can come on to defend my take? And,
You said yes.
I thought as the host of probably the top two, it made sense, but it looks like he went on Jason Goff's pod. I love Jason, so that's cool. I'm just seeing that now. I didn't know that.
A friend of the program. He's been on CHGO Bulls.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Goff's great, but
the full go. Okay, whatever. So at least he
went on one podcast, but I'm just saying, I offered. He didn't respond. What are you going to do? It seems like either Hogan Johns or this pod right here, CHGO Bears, would have been the ideal one to come defend whatever his take actually was. I'm not even sure. But
yeah, and the door's still open for the record, I think, right? It's still open?
Sure.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
I'll just hang out. You guys can.
A bunch of people asking, so there's the answer to that. Let's get to that super chat you were talking about.
You got it. Hold on. And here we go. This is from Isaac. $5. Thanks, Isaac. Would the new revenue from owning their own stadium give them extra income to use for guaranteeing parts of contracts to help entice free agents?
That's a great question, Isaac, because there is a feeling out there that with a new stadium, the Bears are going to be in that much better position to win. I think they'll be in that much more position to make more money.
I don't think there's any impact on contracts. They're already, I guess one of Dominic Foxworth's arguments that the Bears are in cap hell. They're actually not anymore. They were, though. And anytime you're in cap hell, that means you're basically paying what you could be paying or should be paying for free agents. I don't think that I think the money is there to pay the players that need to be paid to make your team better. Where I think it helps you in a smaller sense is just keeping up to date with having the revenue for your facilities, for things behind the scenes that you need, whether it's nutritional items, training things. But I got to say, the Bears already have all that at Halas Hall. Like they've already, I'll give the Bears credit for that. The ownership has been providing that, especially in the last 10 years. So I'm not here to tell you that it's going to result in more wins. I don't think that's the point.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not one making that argument. I just think it's just best for the franchise to make more money and best for the fans to have a great experience at the game.
Right. And hopefully, as far as the wins are concerned, the Bears will make somehow just more clairvoyant, clear decisions on who is running the franchise. And I think in this latest reboot, I feel comfortable where they're at. I don't know where everybody else is at, but okay, Ryan Poles, in my mind, you're off to a pretty damn good start. Same thing with you, Matt Eberflus. And Ted is saying goodbye, and George is hanging out. We got a whole new 10-year plan coming with paddle boats. It feels like they're on a different. I mean, they're on a different.
Very big key.
You gotta have the paddle boats.
I'd like to see the horses in the paddle boats. How about
they're
that?
in a much different space now than they were 365 days ago. Let's just say that.
I think that anybody who watched our show on Wednesday and is now watching this show realize that the Carm is coming around a little bit, slow but steady. And you know where I'll give you credit?
Please.
Okay, this is maybe going to be a stretch in terms of analogies, but have you ever seen Jim Jeffries rant on gun control? I'm sure Lawrence has.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever seen it?
I think I have, but keep going.
First of all, it's great, and there's, not the topic we're talking about right now, but it's basically like 15 minutes of facts and just shooting down every argument that there is for people who love their guns. But the premise, I should say, is essentially that stop giving all these bullshit arguments. Just say, F it, I like guns. Like, that's basically what your argument is. Just, I like them.
Right.
I want to live. And he goes, you're allowed to have that opinion. This is you on Soldier Field. Like, your argument is just like, I like the Bears at Soldier Field. That's it.
Done and done.
Yeah.
But
my point is, I'm giving you credit. You're kind of admitting that now. You're like,
I thought it was
just my personal preference. I don't really have any practical evidence for why they should stay there. I just like them there.
I thought I admitted it before. I thought it was just very clear. Like, look, I like the Bears in Chicago. I I personally have not had no complaints about. Sure, people are like, oh, it looks so ugly. The spaceship I don't care what it looks like. It looks fine to me. It's right there. It's better than it was before. It was way better than it was before. The sightlines in that place are sweet. I don't care what people say. So yes, right. I get the practicality of what's happening here. I understand it fully. I get that it makes sense. I wish that there could have been some meeting of the minds that would have made a lot of sense back in the day before we got this far, and they would have built a sweet stadium in Chicago. It didn't happen. They didn't see the future. One other thing, by the way, about the dome. Y'all know that that climate thing is a real thing and things are changing. So we might not have, snow in December.
Careful, we already triggered the stick to sports people.
Yeah, okay. So all right. I know I don't want to trigger anybody any further, but this could be Miami in about 20 years. So you might want that retractable roof. That's all I'm saying.
Torian Whitfield chiming in with the $4.99 super chat. George McCaskey said it could take 10 years. With today's technology and equipment, it has to be less than 10, right? I think the Bears have been very clear in trying to lower expectations on this. That was another thing that stuck out to me last night. Like, they keep trying to pound it into our heads. Hey, if we haven't even closed, we might not close, and if we do close, we might not develop it. And if we do develop it, there might not actually be a stadium there. Could you imagine if they got all the way to the point where they close, they start developing it, and then there's no stadium? And now they're just like a real estate company?
Yeah, none of that's happening.
No, they're building the stadium.
George McCaskey was basically crying on the stage last night about how they've been looking for a home for 100 years, and this is so sweet, and he wants to honor Dick Duchessois, and we got every person on the planet showing up here to give extreme details on what's going on.
Meanwhile, there's no plan B.
Yeah, and
that very clear, too. We don't have a plan B.
Hey,
look, this thing's happening. They're trying to lower your expectations. George said it could take 10 years. I don't think it's going to take 10 years. I do think it could take 6 or 7, for sure.
They're locked into soldiers and soldiers.
They're not locked in, though.
Till 2026. Till 2026. They got to. That's when they can first get out and pay $84 million. And then
they can get out. They could get out tomorrow if they want to pay for it. This is like kind of like a veteran's contract where you're like, well, technically they don't want to eat the dead money, so they really can't get out of it until 2 years from now. But really, you could cut them tomorrow if you wanted to.
Okay, fine. The payment would be enormous right now if they wanted to get out. Well,
they got nowhere to go, so it's a moot point.
Of course.
They got
But the earliest that people have written that's actually written into any contract is they can pay $84 million in 2026 to get out, and the contract is over officially in 2033. I would like to think by then they'll have this thing done.
Yeah. All right.
We'll still be sitting right here doing the pod.
I plan on it.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. Come on.
Maybe a different studio by then.
We're going strong right now. I feel like it's been a good week.
Thank you to everybody, and by the way, it's great to be here. It's my first week. I'm having so much fun. 2033 just feels like a long time from now.
Upset about he passionately loves Soldier Field. It's okay. Someone just called you the Jay Mariotti of Bears Stadium talk.
Okay.
Settle down.
Hey. Listen, I know I'm not the only one out there that appreciates an old school Chicago stadium. I was flipping around the old radio dials yesterday. My guy Michael Wilbon had my back. Thank you, Wilbon. But everyone
yeah. Pause for dramatic effect.
Yeah, I've heard his stadium.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I want the Bears to be in Chicago. I'm sorry. I'm not. Even though I think I just apologized. I'm not apologizing. Not apologizing that I still want Chicago Stadium to be around. We can move on and talk football and
yeah,
we're gonna have a sweet pregame show, by the way, on Sunday, and we have a special interview that's coming up as well.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on.
A couple of things to just clarify business wise. The reason we're talking so much about stadium today instead of the game is because, one, we have a pregame show coming up for you at 11 o'clock on Sunday. So there's plenty of – we're about to break down the game right now anyway. But you got that coming on Sunday. And Will and Nick did a great job yesterday on their Chicago Audible. I only put quotes in that because it's their old school preview episodes they've done forever, and we're trying to bring that to you guys anyway on Thursday. So Thursdays throughout the season, Will and Nick are going to be giving you that awesome pregame preview angle, and that's available for you if you didn't already watch it. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it wherever you listen to your podcast. It's yesterday's episode. Make sure you go back and check it out. And again, we'll have more for you on the pregame show on Sunday. So still plenty of breakdown. And plus, I feel like we've been breaking this game down since April.
Yeah. But
so can we just get to the game?
But the developments this week of George Kittle and his groin and him not being out there is huge. I also look at and I'm very excited for just being.
What's huge?
Kittle not playing is
I know, the way you worded all that going on there was I just
yeah, I don't know that the full story over there.
George Kittle's a huge Bears fan, by the way. Do you know this?
I love George Kittle.
There's a great press conference clip of him talking about how much he loves the Bears. He grew up a Bears fan. And then there was some game a couple years ago that the 49ers helped the Bears in their playoff seeding, and he was like, I love the Bears. I love that we helped the Bears. And then he gets off the podium, goes off camera, and you can hear him in the background go, I fucking love the Bears. It's great.
Listen, the guy.
So maybe he's just trying to help the Bears win this week.
That now we're stretching, but I've gotten to interview George a couple of times. People I'm sure have seen him. He's incredibly likable. He went to my alma mater. Let's go Iowa.
I was gonna say,
Too much Iowa on
I'm
the
shocked
show.
Nick hasn't called in. Like, I feel like his ears are probably ringing based on this George Kittle talk.
Well, Nick's welcome to call in. Although I think practice started, so he's probably out on the practice field where he's not allowed to tell us anything until I think 1:55.
You know, Kittle was born in Madison, right?
Madtown?
He's born in Madtown.
Why'd he go to Iowa?
Well, because he moved to Iowa City.
He knew who the good team was.
Yeah,
That's a terrible place to move to from Madison.
You didn't just say that. I hope that I'm not the only one offended. Iowa City. Have you been?
Do they have paddle boats there?
They
do.
could.
There's a
beautiful
river.
river goes
The
right
Iowa
through
River
it.
runs right through, baby. He went to West High School, and
Enrique
Iowa
wants
City,
to
then became
invite you
a
to
Hawkeye.
the South Lot.
Okay, Enrique says $5 super chat here. We got breakfast and bong rips in the South Lot before the game. Hoge has been doing it since 12. That's not what I said. We get there at like 8 a.m. Bears 24, 49ers 21. Love it, Enrique. 8 a.m. South Lot. You in?
Can you legally do the bong thing in the South Lot these days, or is it?
I
just
think that's
kind of,
considered public property, and technically, even though it's
come
legal
on.
now in Illinois, I don't think you can do it. Very good chance you could do it and not get in trouble.
I'm sure it's being done. I'm just wondering if if we segue to a point in life where that's just straight legal, that you could sit on your folding chair and have your bong hit and then eat some eggs and see Hoge. I'm just wondering, is that a thing?
No
Maybe it is.
I'll tell you this. There's no chance I'm doing a bong rip at 8 a.m.
Not when
There's
we've
no
got
chance
a
of doing it.
pregame.
I might have a beer and grill some sausages out here on our patio. Our Weber Grill's put together.
I couldn't
Shout out to Weber
believe
Grills.
walking in today. There's a grill, Staley's hanging out
We
today.
got bags.
We got bags.
Someone should toss me one of those bags so I can show the people.
Okay.
It looks awesome. There's a whole bag set, which I can't show you the whole thing. He's bringing the whole thing over.
Lawrence is stronger than both of us because
Why are you? That thing's heavy, huh? Let's see. He's
here
coming.
it comes.
Look at this.
I mean,
I'm
that's
telling you, we got tailgates coming, and this is. Let me move the Starbucks. Look at this.
Hey, look, it's good branding right here. Come on, come to the
These are-
tailgate.
They smell good too.
I'm supposed to smell this bag.
They're clean and they haven't been destroyed yet.
It is okay. It's a fine smelling bag. I feel a little weird right now that I just did that, but okay.
ChytownCornhole.com is who made these for us.
Oh. I mean, they did a nice job.
Shout out to those fine folks.
Our logo that I have here on my computer, too, is sick. All right, I need to tell you about a couple other sponsors here real quick. Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of CHGO. We love our Pins and Aces gear, and we get tons of compliments on and off the golf course. They are a family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and even our favorite beer sleeve. You ever used a beer sleeve on the golf course, by the way?
I don't think so.
It's great. You can fit 6 beers in it. It slides right in your golf bag. And it's like a cooler bag. You can fit up to 6 beers in there. It's right in your golf bag. No one knows you have them.
That's awesome.
It's a real thing.
I mean, I don't mind paying you $6 for a Miller Lite when I golf 5 times a year, but you just took it to another level.
I love sponsors where I have already bought things from them before they ever became a sponsor. This is an example. I bought a Pins and Aces beer sleeve this summer before my golf trip, and I'm telling you, it's the best. So the beer sleeve is an innovative product that allows you to store 7 beers right inside your golf bag and keep drinks cold the entire round. Check out pinsandaces.com. Use code CHGO. Receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. I wish I had that code back in July when I bought it. But now you have it. We're giving it to you. Use code CHGO, pinsandaces.com. And our friends at FOCO, which you're very familiar with at this point, you already got the best coverage for your favorite team. So get fitted out in the best sports gear around. FOCO has you covered from Soldier Field to maybe Arlington Park in the future. North or south side with hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. Get decked out like DeMar with apparel from the leader in sports, merch, and collectibles, FOCO. Looking for the perfect gift for the football fan in your life? FOCO's got you covered with hoodies to fight that Lake Michigan breeze. Although you won't have to fight it very much longer, 10 years from now. You have to fight the Salt Creek breeze. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. We are giving you all kinds of discounts everywhere.
I don't know if you guys noticed, I did turn on the light that's in our sweet cornhole.
There's lights
boards.
on that thing?
Yeah, so I've shown you Cody's tweet from the other night.
By the way, our air kicked on, so it's kind of hard to hear you.
Yeah, it is
sorry.
loud. Yeah, I understand that. But, I forgot to turn that thing on. Man, I've had a rough Friday.
No, you're fine.
Right.
That looks awesome. I can actually see the lights behind us now. That's pretty.
It is lit up, and bottom line, first class everything going on around here. You got to say that the coffee is first class at CHGO. I can't figure out how to use the thing, but it's a very very nice apparatus. Everything in this office is sweet.
Did you just call it an apparatus?
It is a coffee apparatus. I think that's accurate.
All right.
What do you got over there? Because I got
Kittle. Well, let's say this: Kittle's groin injury.
Yep.
You called it huge. I call it significant.
It's probably better.
It does sound like this is a bigger deal than just like, he's missing a couple days of practice. We'll get the injury report a little bit later on today.
Everyone says he's not playing.
Yeah. So, and that certainly helps. Now, you still got to figure out Debo, who can line up anywhere. And for my fantasy football team's sake, hopefully still scores a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, but that's true. You do, but they want to run the ball. The interior of their offensive line is incredibly inexperienced. There's a lot of similarities between
these two teams.
I mean,
including the offensive style.
Both teams want to run it. Both teams have questions on their offensive line. Both teams have questions at quarterback. The 49ers can get to the quarterback better than we can. Certainly have more talent, but and Bosa's primed for, everyone's saying primed for another huge year after 15.5 sacks last year. But the more I'm looking at this game, the more I'm thinking Bears, and Bears. I feel like we're going to have a flu celebration at about 3:05 right here on Sunday.
Spoiler alert. Well, we're gonna save your official prediction for Sunday's pregame show.
Okay. Well,
I think you just gave it away.
Well, yesterday I had the Niners winning, and then I'm reading up today, so I flipped once. I might flip again before Sunday.
Man, you have 48 hours.
Yeah.
We might have Nick from Halas Hall here in a little bit, but regardless, look, I think there's a path to victory. I mean, there's some things I feel strongly about in this game, and that is, we're also going to do some prop bets on Sunday's show, but one thing I could tell you right away that I would feel pretty confident in, I like the Bears. If you get either whatever the odds are, I don't have them in front of me. We can get them from PointsBet. Bears to score first.
Okay.
And Bears first quarter. I'm assuming they're going to be underdogs by like maybe 2.5 points or something, 1.5, whatever it is. Like,
why do you like them to score first? What's your angle?
I think they have the quarterback advantage. I think they have the element of surprise a little bit. And I think that the 49ers are going to be a little, and specifically Trey Lance, to your point with the soft interior offensive line, I think they're going to struggle to score early on in the game, the Niners.
Their center is Jake Brendel, came in the league in 2016. How many games has he started? He started only 3 games in 2018 in Miami. That's their center. That doesn't scare you. Left guard, Aaron Banks.
What are they saying about Sam Musfer in San Francisco, though?
That's fair, but we might have Lucas Patrick.
What are they saying about Tevin Jenkins?
This is the similarity part, but okay. The Niners beat Green Bay in the playoffs last year. That's a little more intimidating. The Bears. Everyone thinks the Bears are going to be the worst team in the NFL or in the bottom 3. But you look at San Francisco coming into this game. Their left guard is Aaron Banks, barely played as a rookie. Their right guard is Spencer Burford, who won the job after being. He's a 4th-round pick out of Texas San Antonio. I mean, and
great year last year, though.
I don't know,
Roadrunners, man. Roadrunners were good last year. UTSA.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. I didn't know you were a UTSA guy, but this is they do have Trent Williams, of course, out there as well, who the Bears don't have anybody.
Might be the best left tackle in football.
Right. That's and Mike
I don't think the Bears
McGlinchey
have one of those.
Yeah, Mike McGlinchey's no slouch on the other side either. However, that's 2 of the 5. Plus, and if you listen to what Steve Young is saying about Trey Lance, who knows a thing or two about quarterback play and stepping in to a situation not quite the same as replacing Joe Montana and Jimmy Garoppolo and all that, he's like, y'all better slow your roll. I'm expecting anything great from this guy. It's going to be rocky as hell. That's what it's been to this point.
I agree. And it probably still will be for Fields to a certain extent.
Yes.
Yes. But I do think Fields is ahead of Lance. I think if you actually watch their preseasons, that showed that. And then you got to be careful what you see in the preseason. But when you actually, Ryan Poles told us last week on the Hoge and Johns podcast, he looks at it play by play and like what the jobs were on those plays, less about, was there a touchdown or whatever, what the result is, just more about the process. And they seem really happy with what Justin Fields did. And if you're paying attention to what's going on in San Francisco, it was a lot more choppy with Trey Lance. And it ended with them bringing back the guy they were trying to kick out the door the whole time.
Exactly.
By the way, if they really wanted Jimmy Garoppolo there the entire time, they would have had him around the building more. They were treating him like an outcast the whole summer.
They wanted to trade him, and now they're saying, well, we couldn't, and the best path forward here is to, you'll sign this deal for less money? Sweet, because Trey's not exactly there. And everybody gives Kyle Shanahan a ton of credit for being able to develop quarterbacks, rightfully so. But here's one of his quotes this week. Quote, "I would love to get Trey more practice and more experience. I would always want more of that. He's just as ready to go as he can be. He needs to get in these real games now and start playing, and there's going to be times he makes some mistakes, and he has to learn from them and find a way to still win a game and overcome some of those things as he learns on the run." That's not a guy saying, hey, this dude's ready to go. I am extremely confident that Trey can step in right now and live this dream and play big. That's not what he's saying. And I don't think this is gamesmanship here. I think it's sort of a bracing to 49ers fans. Look, don't start yelling for Jimmy, in at the end of the first half on Sunday. So they're and Flus and company, you know how to game plan for a young quarterback. I really think they're gonna. I don't know. I'm getting more optimistic by the moment.
I don't know. I'm reading something on allchgo.com right now that says you have the Bears. You've already flipped from what's been. This says you have the 49ers winning.
Yes, I said that yesterday, and I said to Kevin before the show today, "Can I change my pick? It's not too late," is what he said. So,
well, it's locked in now.
But apparently it's out. Now it's
we have
out.
staff predictions, by the way, at allchgo.com. You should check those out.
All right, just know that that was
little teaser.
That was my
Corey
Thursday
Wooten,
pick.
Former Bear Corey Wooten, who will be joining us on Mondays right here on the CHGO Bears podcast. He'll be in studio with us to break this whole thing down Monday.
He's got him winning.
21-10.
Woot, woot.
Bears win.
I mean,
he probably has the Cats beating Duke by like 50 then.
Cats are going to crush Duke. By the way, hit me up on Twitter at the Carm if you want to go to Northwestern game tomorrow. I will take care of some people if anybody wants to go see Cats Duke at the Carm. Yeah, you're
Do
right.
I have to tweet at you, or can I tell you right now?
You want to go for real?
I kinda. I don't think I can though. We got a soccer game in the morning.
Well, you let me know. I got a plethora of.
We also have it fits nicely between my son's soccer game though and when I need to go down to Leo for our Carmel Leo game. There's a window there.
You don't have to come for a 4-hour college football game. You can come for 2 hours.
Oh, that game's going 4:30.
It's. This is not the part of the show, but college football. Please just get in the NFL window. We want to see 3-hour games. Don't you see? The NFL is perfect. They figured this part out.
It is mind-boggling too, because why does it take so much longer?
Because they have to stop the damn clock after first down. Just keep the clock rolling. Nobody wants to be here for 8 zillion days. Come on, college football. You can do this.
I love myself some Northwestern football, though.
Yeah, well, let's go, Cats.
It'll be a nice day in Evanston.
So,
You know the Bears wanted to play there? But it got vetoed at the last minute. That's why they had to go to Soldier Field.
Wait, what?
Yeah, go look up history.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're talking about back in the day.
They might have, when they had to leave Wrigley because of capacity rules, they were going to go play their games in Evanston.
I thought you were.
At what was then Deitch Stadium. Right? Stadium or Deitch Field?
That would be Dyke.
Dyke? Yeah.
Dyke.
Okay.
Yeah. We got bong rips, Dyke Stadium, all kinds of things talking today.
I'll take the L on that. That's okay.
I thought that we were talking about when they went down to Champaign. I don't remember the Cats being in that conversation, but maybe.
No, I'm talking about back when they left Wrigley to go to Soldier Field.
1970.
Yeah. You were 10 then.
That's going to be a fight after the show. If anybody wants just to, if Kevin will be filming, we're gonna go straight wrestling, which will be the first time I've done that since freshman gym at Highland Park High School.
I will not wrestle you. I'll play in bags or ping pong.
Ping pong. All right.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Hey, we'll stay tuned for all. Make sure you're following us on social media. We will get you all the information on the last minute injury report stuff that comes out today. A little bit delayed on that because they are playing a West Coast team, so we got to wait for the 49ers to, when the actual injury report comes out later today, we will have you covered at CHGO_Bears. Follow Nicholas Moreano, too, because he'll have the Bears updates as soon as practice is over. I think Matt Eberflus is talking about 155 today, so follow Nick for all of that. You can follow myself at Adam Hoge, at the Carm. Let's have some fun with the stadium stuff. We don't need to be calling him Skip Bayless. It's ridiculous.
Did I get a Bayless?
Someone's
today?
called you Skip Bayless.
Hey, I'll take that as a compliment.
He's just somebody who loves Chicago. It's okay.
You don't have to defend me. Every single one of you that doesn't like me right now,
They like you.
The masses or the few. We're all going to be best friends. You're going to fall in love with me, and I'm going to fall in love with you. And it's great to be here. And I'm not apologizing for the fact that I want the Bears to stay in Chicago ever.
That's okay.
But I will just like everybody else. We'll get on board if this is what happens. I'm not going to chain myself to soldiers when they tear it down and or just open it up for whatever concerts are going to play there and Chicago Fire games and whatever else is going to be at Soldier Field when it's gone, when the Bears leave.
You got some time, buddy.
I do.
It's only going to get worse, though. I'm warning you. Soldier Field, they're the worst partners with the Bears. And if they just keep doing it's going to get worse.
And that's too bad.
It really is.
That shouldn't have been the case, but it was.
All right. Sunday, 11 a.m. Be here. This is the pregame show you want to be watching. So excited. Greg Braggs is going to join us for the postgame, too. So every game, pregame right here, postgame the second the game is over. We're going to be here with you live on the CHGO.
Give me a couple minutes to maybe set things up. Okay, the second.
When they're losing to the Packers by 30 next week, we are going to start in the third quarter.
Perfect.
Actually,
I've always liked that
I'm just
idea.
kidding. I don't actually think it's going to happen. Spoiler alert. I might have the Bears winning next week already.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Really?
So when they're winning by 30 in the fourth quarter at Lambeau, we will be right here.
That would be something.
Neither of those scenarios I just said are really going to happen, but it should be a good game. More importantly, what?
Did you promo any of who we talked to yesterday?
Oh, no. Wow.
Okay, I
Thanks
was
for the
like,
reminder.
I might have spaced out, but I didn't
No,
think I
I
did.
have not mentioned that yet. We also have a bonus interview for you on the YouTube channel. I think we're podcasting it too, so
It's not there yet, but yes, we're gonna post this in a podcast form and on the YouTube. So if you want to watch it,
we talked to Brian Urlacher yesterday for about
Whoa.
25 minutes.
lacquer.
Yo, we've been going for 6 months here on CHGO. Urlacher's been on the show twice.
Yeah, and Brian had some interesting things to say about good old Soldier Field on there too, along with Lovey, along with Flus, along with Fields,
He believes in bear weather,
along with Roquan. He does.
and he played out there, so
That might be a guy that knows something about bear weather. I'm just saying.
He said Roquan has a nice head of hair. No need for the.
He did come on with us via Restore. Which,
yeah.
Hey.
So there is some hair conversation in there.
O'Hare Airport or whatever
Yeah.
that sign
Yeah.
is.
There's a lot of billboards out there.
A lot of them.
Brian is on that. I thought it was completely ridiculous, but he actually looks good with hair. I gotta say. I think he's pulled it off.
It's grown on me. It's grown on him more, but
Yeah.
at first I was like, no, you're Brian Urlacher. You're supposed to be bald, but it looks pretty good. His son's really good at football too, by the way. We talked a little bit about that. A lot of stuff. So check that out. Then we'll see you on Sunday.
We'll tweet when it's posted up. So
I got a little work to do, but yeah.
It's coming. It's not there yet, but we're looking forward to it.
You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to finally take a breather. I'm going to take about 24 hours to not actually think about work for a minute. Got
Yep.
my wife's birthday celebration tonight.
Ooh, where's that at?
Going to Lake Geneva.
Wonderful.
Modern day Romeo's playing up in Lake Geneva.
World Traveler Hoge.
Uh,
Arlington Heights or Hersey High School yesterday.
Okay, well, her birthday is Sunday. The Bears have a game. So, common sense is you celebrate Saturday, but we have to go down to Leo and play tomorrow night instead of Friday night. So, that didn't go over too well in the house. And so now we're doing it Friday night.
Birthdays need to be celebrated.
Don't
not
forget
on the
to
day.
sign up for points, but if you haven't already, hook it up.
Closing this computer. Make sure you check out PointsBet. $51 pregame or live. You still have time to do that. We'll remind you again right before the game on Sunday too. But take advantage of this offer if you haven't done it already. Use code CHGO at PointsBet. Love everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the new lineup this week. It's going to be even better next week when we have actual football to break down. I cannot wait. We've been previewing this game forever.
Let's go Bears. We'll see you Sunday. Come on.